Hello everyone! What a beautiful day it is outside today. And these flowers and butterflies and these beautiful colors have me feeling really springy. So today I'm going to show you a new book that I'm going to be creating, but this time I'm going to show you how I bind my pages into the book. Look at this. This is a bare naked book. Nothing in here but the signatures and the papers, just ready to be decorated and given to a very special recipient. This book will be for sale in my Etsy store unless somebody snatches it up before then. Well, here we go. Let's begin. Okay, so I have my signatures created. A signature is just a collection of papers that will ultimately become all the pages of the book once they're sewn into the spine of the book that I have created here using cardboard, fabric, paper. Here I had a fun ribbon that I've been wanting to use for a long time. Finally, I'm using it. Okay, so here's our shell, whatever you call it, the cover. The first thing we're going to do is make a template, which is just simply a scrap of paper that's just as long height-wise to your book. This doesn't have to be too specific, but you can certainly fold it in half and fold it in half again to find the center points and, you know, make everything really even, but it's not really necessary. As long as all your holes are the same, that's all that matters. Okay, so just using my little tool, I'm just gonna poke holes here. I'm also going to mark this as up on both sides. Sometimes I'll even make a line where my hole is. Just makes it easier, kind of. Just a little mark. Maybe we'll do it in the middle too. That one's a little off, but that's okay. Okay, and now we want these holes to be exactly the same on our cover so that it fits. So I'm just going to make some marks. With this particular cover, I'm going to use black marker. If I had, or a Sharpie, if I were to have a darker fabric, I would use a white colored pencil to mark my dots. Okay, so I just eyeball it really. It's a junk journal after all. Okay, so I'm going to need my first dots, probably starting right about here. And then I'm gonna eyeball it, make my dots, make it nice and straight. Make sure it lines up top to bottom and that you're going the correct direction. Look, see my arrow here. Okay, we're gonna mark right there. Okay, and then we're gonna want a signature right here. I'm just gonna put my pen there. Nice and straight. If it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. All right, and then we're gonna put a dot right between these two, okay? Because so we have 4 signatures. We're gonna need 4 dots. Okay. Got my little cutting board here. And I just have like a pokey tool here. I've had several pokey tools over time, but I keep losing them. Thankfully, my husband has 6 of every tool imaginable. Okay, so I'm just gonna find those dots and I'm just gonna poke a hole through there. You're poking through cardboard, tape, glue. Okay, there, I spared you the boredom and I poked all my holes. You can kind of see on the back where they are, maybe not. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same technique, or whatever you call it, to my pages as well. Make sure that your pages are tucked in exactly how you want them. This looks pretty good to me. Take your template, wherever that may be. There we go. Make sure that you're going in the right direction. We're going to line that up nice and tight. And we're going to poke holes right through it. I might be a little dramatic, but my pokey tool is kind of dull. All right, all the way through. Woohoo! Okay, so we have those holes punched. Let's move to sewing. Okay, now to sew this in, I'm going to be using black embroidery thread. I thought it'd be the best to go with this pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Have a nice long thread here, and we're just going to go into the center hole, poke it through, bring over our book, line it up, here it comes. Not all the way. Poke it through the top hole and through that signature. Now we're going to move on to the last hole. Poking that needle right through there. And then through that bottom hole. Paying attention to which holes you're sewing into. And then back through this side and through that signature. This can be kind of a tedious task trying to get that needle through all the holes. But the most important part is to get it through all the holes and the correct holes at that. Okay, so we're just gonna pull these a little tight, coming up through that book. I wanna get the middle here, if I can find it, through the 2 embroidery floss strands. There. I'm going to put one on either side of it, of that center one, and tie it twice. There's also a technique called the S knot. You make a little S going underneath. Okay, and then you take this through that hole and this through that hole, and you pull it together, which creates a knot that knots on top of each other like this instead of like this. You see what I'm saying? So it just kind of makes it a little bit more flat. You can leave these long, like if you want to hang little charms on them or little beads at the end, that's cool too. I'm just going to trim these off for this particular book. All right, let's move on to the next signature. And there we have it, a beautifully bound journal. Look at all these beautiful pages in here. We have book pages, decorative scrapbook pages. We have some transparent vellums, doilies, journaling pages, pockets with vintage music paper, all kind of coloring spaces, bags, textured paper. This is going to be such a fun journal to decorate. Stay tuned and we will decorate this journal together. Are you inspired to go and create and bind your own journal? If so, like and subscribe to my channel where we do all kinds of fun stuff like this. We'll see you in my next video. Bye!